What's up, guys? This is Carson. Thanks, Ball, my second channel where everything is unscripted and unedited for the most part. I just watched the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Miami Heat 121 to 112. And if you know me, I'm a Cavs fan. You can tell by the jerseys behind me. This one was a nail biter, I'll be honest. Very early on, the Cavs seemed to be in control, especially in that second quarter. 43 points in the second quarter for the Cavs. They set a franchise playoff record for the most threes made in a quarter, but it was incredible what the Cavs were able to do in that quarter. Max Strus stepped up. He had a really nice quarter. Ty Jerome started this game real hot. Ty Jerome, not the game you expect after the insane, supernova game he had game one, but, he still played fine. But overall, top down, looking at the players and who played today. On the Miami side of the ball, Tyler Hero, complete turnaround from last game. In game one, he had a very good first half to the game, but he kind of turned it off in the second half. Like, he barely got the ball. He got denied the ball. And the same defenders were pretty much on him for the most part in this game, except there was a lot more DeAndre Hunter, because in that first game, DeAndre Hunter was almost unplayable because his offense just wasn't moving. But DeAndre Hunter had a much better game, so he was on the court a lot more, and he was guarding Hero for a lot of it. Outside of DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, you wouldn't think would be on Tyler Hero, the main ball handler, the guy you want to stop from getting the ball. But Sam Merrill, a lot of Cavs fans don't like him because he's very hit or miss. Sometimes he's on and he's making all the shots, but he's also a little small. But he does have energy. He does have, hype. He will hustle. And he did that. He did that in the first game, and he did that in this game. He's trying to deny Hero the ball. But the problem is you could only do so much with hustle, because sometimes it's just physical abilities at that point. And Sam Merrill doesn't really have those. So he got targeted a bit on defense. Hero stepped up a lot more. Hero was a nightmare in this game. He was making a bunch of shots, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 14 of 24 shooting. He played very well. Bam Adebayo, not the game you would expect. 9 assists, 14 rebounds, 11 points, almost a triple-double. Bam had a really nice game, game one. He was super dominant, but it felt like today it was just not fallen for him. He was 3 of 9. In the other game, he took, in game one, he took 22 shots. In this game, he took 9 shots. So there was a clear difference if you were watching, or you can just look at the box score and see. It was a lot less aggression, and it was a lot less, I guess, honestly, having the ball. But, he made pretty well. Davion Mitchell, looking at the box score, it doesn't look that big, but almost everything was in the fourth quarter. Davion Mitchell is going to get a big paycheck. I said that in my first game reaction. He's going to get a big paycheck this offseason. And Davion Mitchell, he's like a clutch time merchant. He's an important game merchant, because in that overtime game for the play-in, he had a really good game. And in this fourth quarter, he was almost the whole reason that the Miami Heat were able to make this close game at the end. He had 14 points in that fourth quarter. He was 5 for 6, 90% true shooting. But he didn't start the game super well. His first and third quarter were really quiet. Second quarter was also relatively quiet. Haywood Highsmith, he had a great game. He was 6 for 7 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3. Everything was falling for him. It was rare to see him not have shots fall. Andrew Wiggins, I said in the last video, in the game one, it felt like at some points Andrew Wiggins was almost invisible. Like, you couldn't tell he was out there. And I thought that kind of changed in the first quarter of this game, and not exactly in a good way, because you could tell he was clearly out there, but it wasn't always because of a positive impact. He was 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. He completely got benched in that fourth. There's a point where you want to say it was Andrew Wiggins playing terrible basketball, or it was the newcomer, Nikola Jovic, having a great game. He didn't play at all in game one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he played 1 minute in game one of this series. This game he played 25 minutes. He played 0 in the first quarter, but as obvious, Spo saw something he liked. And even though he had a kind of a rough night, he was 1 for 8 from 3, 4 for 12 from the field. I still think he impacted pretty well. He defended well. He had 8 rebounds. When Andrew Wiggins isn't aggressive, and he's not, and we all know Andrew Wiggins has had his problems with aggression. Everybody knows he's a talent. He came out of college. It's like, this is Maple Jordan. You want to have Andrew Wiggins on your team. But over the years, he just hasn't been there almost. It makes sense he was benched. He just didn't seem super in it. It was kind of like game one, Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets. It was just like, you couldn't tell he was there, almost like he wasn't giving it a all. Khalil Ware, again, my favorite rookie in this class. Rough game again. When he's on the court, you feel like he's doing good things. And when you look at what he's doing, it just looks good. I don't have really a problem with how he played. It's just, he's a rookie at the end of the day. His hands aren't super there. He misses some silly shots sometimes. If his threes aren't falling, then it's like, what's really the point of having him on the court? Obviously, his defense, there's a lot to be desired with Khalil Ware. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I think Khalil Ware is going to be an all-star one day, but I mean, it's just very early for a physical game like this. Physicality, the refs, both sides of the ball tonight were not awesome. A lot of stupid calls, a lot of missed calls. I never like to blame the refs, and especially in this game because they were being kind of bad for both sides. They were calling like phantom calls where Spo was forced to use a challenge because Bam, fouled Evan Mobley on a three. Bam didn't touch Evan Mobley, so that was kind of questionable. On the Cavs side of the ball, a lot of great things. Like I mentioned, Ty Jerome, you would expect a little bit more. Evan Mobley, great bounce back game. Not like he played terribly in game one. He just didn't play Evan Mobley level basketball. He had 9 points in that first game. In this game, he had 20. He seemed a lot more aggressive. He was 50% from three. He was 3 for 6. If you told me a year ago Evan Mobley would be taking 6 threes in a playoff game and making half of them, I would call you a liar. Obviously, Evan Mobley always had the jumper, like a theoretical jumper. Like you would think, you want him to be good at it, but you would never really rely on it. But now Evan Mobley is a reliable three-point shooter, and it's super awesome to watch. His defense, Evan Mobley defense, of course, incredible. Darius Garland played super well. In that first quarter, he was really on. And then in the fourth quarter, he had like the putback layup when Donovan Mitchell, for some reason, laid that ball up. He probably should have just kept the ball away from the Miami Heat when they were trying to foul. But, he had the putback, so he played great. Playmaking was super well. The Cavs team all year has been doing this thing where it's just, you get hit by ball movement all game. And, they kept that up. There's a couple points where it got really ISO heavy, which is not exactly what you want to see. But there's some great guys on this team who can ISO, so he's, not the end of the world. Donovan Mitchell, of course, great game. 30 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 65% true shooting. Donovan Mitchell just played great. It's awesome having him on our team. In that fourth quarter, he was hitting some crazy shots. He had 17 points in the fourth quarter. He was 6 for 9, 4 for 4 from 3, which is pretty awesome. He was playmaking really well. He had, 6 assists in this game, 5 of which came in that second quarter when the Cavs were on fire, so he knew who to give it to, when we were on that super hot streak. Speaking of the hot streak, Max Strus, 9 points in that second quarter, 3 from 3, 3 for 3 from 3. Max Strus was super awesome. Max Strus, when he's hot, is probably one of the scariest players in the league. We saw it in Miami on that playoff run, the finals run actually, and he's been doing incredible things. DeAndre Hunter, like I mentioned, stepped up a lot in this game. He was 4 for 10 from the field, which is not, crazy DeAndre Hunter efficiency like you'd want, but, he still played great. His defense was really awesome. His defense was as good as you would want on Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, incredible basketball player. He really had a great game. Jared Allen, when he was set the ball, he did good things with it. A lot of people have a misconception about Jared Allen that he's like a post-up player. Jared Allen doesn't post people up. That's never a thing you'll see Jared Allen doing. He's a lob threat. You dump it to him and he just puts it up. You're never going to see Jared Allen, backing somebody down. This is not a thing. Sam Merrill, super hit or miss again. Played fine defense on Tyler Hero, trying to deny him the ball, but a little less impactful. Overall, grimy win for the Cavs. After that super hot stretch, the momentum really shifted in that fourth quarter. Even the third quarter, it just wasn't really fun to watch. Let me completely change what I just said. It was awesome to watch. It was super fun to watch. But as a Cavs fan, it was terrifying. It was scary. They went on a 25-8 run. Problem for the Heat was turnovers. There was a lot of silly, dumb turnovers that just didn't need to happen, especially down the stretch when Max Strus got the one turnover that led to the Donovan Mitchell layup miss, Darius Garland putback. The Cavs had 10 steals to the Heat's 3, and the fast break point differential was 17 Cavalier points to 6 Miami Heat points. So you really want to fix what's up with the fast break points. Nikola Jovic, I think you keep running him in the series. I think if you're Spo, you keep playing him. Nikola Jovic was obviously out of the lineup for a bit this season. It was kind of weird where he was at. But all in all, if he just makes a couple more shots, that game was completely different. And, he was getting good looks. There was some time, especially near the end of the game, where he was trying to kind of play hero ball and take some dumb shots. But, he was 0 for 4 in that fourth quarter. So maybe don't do that. Maybe give it to Tyler Hero, the guy who's, carrying your whole offense right now. Bam Adebayo, you want a lot more from. I said this in the last video. I don't know why Bam insists on taking so many threes. He was 1 for 5 from 3 this game. I'm pretty sure in the last game he was also 1 for 5. Yeah, he was 1 for 5 from 3. So in this series, he's 2 for 10 from 3 right now. If you're Bam, quit taking threes. And I know you're being guarded by Evan Mobley, a primarily, post defender, rim protector. But Bam Adebayo is so much more than just attack at the rim. He can do mid ranges. He can do, Bam Adebayo's arsenal is so much bigger than what he's limiting himself to. And I don't know why over half Bam Adebayo's shot diet has been threes. In this game, 5 threes. He only took 9 shot attempts. What is that? You know, and it makes me mad to watch, even though I'm a Cavs fan. I want to see Bam do more because Bam's supposed to be an all-star. He's supposed to be so much better. But, you know, I just want him to take different shots because we know he's so much better than this. Davion Mitchell, like I mentioned, incredible. You know, if you just keep giving him, honestly, the ball, good things are going to happen. You know, great defender. He did his job. You know, looking at the box score, Donovan Mitchell had a great game, but Davion Mitchell was playing incredible defense. Don't get it twisted. All in all, I'm happy with the result of this game. Real nail biter at the end. The Cavs offense kind of ran stale at the end. It wasn't super awesome. All right, let me scratch that. It wasn't as much as the offense as it was the defense. The defense struggled a lot. Miami got a lot of easy looks, open looks. So I don't know. I don't want to pin that on the Cavs offense, more the defense, more than anything. Darius Garland, as much as I'm a Darius Garland truther, Darius Garland defender, his defense was as good as Darius Garland defense is going to be, but he was also getting attacked over and over again, you know, and there's not much you can do about it. You're a small guy, you know, he's hustling. He just doesn't have the physical tools. All in all, great game. Awesome. I think Cavs in 5. I think the Miami Heat will take a game at home, and then I think the Cavs will win the other one, and then when we get back home, I think the Cavs will win that game. But I think Miami is too, like, dog poundy, like, too vicious to not at least take a game in the series, as much as I want to say Cavs in 4. But a game like this really showed me why, especially because it took, you know, a franchise record in threes, you know, crazy magnet rim for the Cavs to even pull out of this game in the second quarter. So I think Cavs in 5 still. Great game for the Heat. Nikola Jovic hopefully makes some more shots, but I doubt Hayward Highsmith is going to have the game he had. But I think Bam will be a lot better. I hope. I don't know. Anyways, peace.